Om. Namaste to all of you. We are in a very interesting timeline where our Hindu identity itself is being questioned. Deliberately, attempts are being made to differentiate Hindu and Hindutva. We have a motivated set of people who even sold the lie of Hindu terror at the international fora. Everything was concocted. And we, who are mostly raised as seculars, who think calling ourselves as Hindu itself is communal, and other religions can do whatever extremism, even bombing other people, we are the first ones, the so-called Hindu seculars. We go and give the excuse, oh, that is not representative of that religion. Which even those religions themselves are not ready to talk about. They are in silent agreement with that dastardly act. So this disease of Sanatana Dharma, what we see prevalent, more prevalent than Omicron, is called excuseitis. We invent reasons how to give excuses why we can't follow Sanatana Dharma. So we are going to identify some of the reasons why we are giving ridiculous excuses and an antidote, a dharmic prescription, if you will, to counter that. By no stretch, this talk or the accompanying blog or the earlier Tamil talk is comprehensive or complete. This is just to provoke our thought. This is just to provoke how we should be thinking and what we should be doing. So, let us take some time, look at some of the popular excuses and the popular or the prescribed dharmic antidotes. The first idea of Sanatana Dharma, even if you go to the most rural person, that is ingrained deep in the ethos of every Sanatana Dharma person, no matter what sampradaya they follow, is Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Let everyone in this world be happy, be good. But what we have brought it down, the politicians and the breaking India forces would like you to believe that entire Sanatana Dharma is based on caste discrimination, sectarianism, communalism, and we are one rabid group of individuals that are focused on promoting violence or whatever they are imagining. So that suggestion we are going to make is how we can bring ourselves into the domain of Dharma. Be ourselves bound by Dharma, Dharma Bada. And that alone will help us to overcome this excuseitis. Now, that requires a lot of personal responsibility. Needless to say, that is in severe short supply around the world, not only in Sanatana Dharma. We have all sorts of excuses. If you take, for example, a Freudian way of looking the psychology, hey, who else can I blame? Bad things happened to this guy when he was child, and this thing and that thing. That's why he is behaving like this. Otherwise, this is like that same excuse we give, oh, poor headmaster's son, for the terrorist. You see the parallel? Now you have to understand, when we look at it in this kind of Freudian way, it rhymes with fraud, which is exactly what it is. And they also have something called Freudian slip. So we want to stay focused on taking that responsibility, fixing our life, and through that process we are going to evolve and transform. And because we evolve and transform, we are going to make a contribution to the world and make it a better place than when we came here. I hope that premise rhymes with most people here. So the very first thing, if you ask an average, I've been doing this talk in clubhouse spaces and things like that for the last 6 months or so. The first and most common excuse people give is, I don't know, man, I am just ignorant. Nobody taught me anything. People didn't give me any information. My parents, they were just normal people, as if like others are all abnormal. If you are a traditional person, or if you are a person as Sanatani, their parents are all, remember, they are all very communal, okay? So we are brought in such a shame that we don't even know that being ignorant is a proud badge of honor. Otherwise, we will not make that as an excuse itself. Then we come with this wonderful idea. Man, Hinduism is a way of life. This is a way of life too. Knowing, not knowing. I am ignorant. Doesn't Hinduism also accept agnostic and atheist? You ask the fellow where it says we accept, the fellow will be running short of words. Because these people don't know what is the difference between astika and nastika. And they wrongly use the translation or mistranslation, and they come back and tell you that a nastika is the same as astika. How is that possible? When we say Sanatana Dharma, Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti, that means we are talking about infinity. And there are these desert religions that come and say, no, only one is the right answer. And that one also you have to accept the way I am telling. Every subsect in that group says only the way I interpret it is right, not even the other cult. So that is the level of tamas, right? And you are attempting to accept that broken number, that fraction, as the whole. So this ignorance is the same problem when you turn around and ask the question, is Hitler not having a way of life? Is the dog not having a way of life? Is the cockroach not having a way of life? Will you accept it? No. But Hinduism way of life. Because they have reduced it to such a way so that they cannot say that this is Sanatana Dharma is a religion, so that they can use that to abuse you. And we are all like, no, you don't understand. There are not enough gurus. Nobody is telling me all the shastras. Now you come and ask the fellow, why don't you want the shastras? Come, I will take you to a place you can go and listen to these experts. Like tomorrow, Kicha is going to come and tell Mahabharatam in deep, with deep insights. Why don't you come and listen? No, I don't. We will come to that excuse later, what they will tell for that. Then they also come with the other excuse. You know what? You look, the desert cults have only one book. Right or wrong, it's easy to digest. But you guys have written all sorts of big books. Nobody understands that. And on top of that, you have so many books for Itihasas, Puranas, Upanishads, Gita, all sorts of things. On top of that, in Ramayana only there are hundreds of Ramayana. Don't you know that? Which is correct. See, a person who is ignorant has all these questions, but what he doesn't have is the backbone. So now you ask the person, hey, you say there are 300 Ramayanas, 200 Ramayanas, whatever. Have you studied even one Ramayana? No, I saw TV Ramayana. Even Rama won't bless you. That TV Ramayana was a khichdi for people to get into Ramayana. It was a bait. It was a pretext for you to crack open Valmiki Ramayana and read. But you didn't do that. You say, no, my Cliff Notes version is more than enough. So how do you counter this excuse that I don't know anything, nobody taught me, this is too confusing, too vague? Understand, this is all only, the prescription is only for the genuine seeker. This is not a desert cult where faith is being prescribed, you will follow this commandment. It is not like that. So understand that. So what is the dharmic prescription for this? Ignorance of something is not an excuse for escaping the laws. You are driving in a 30 mile per hour zone or 30 kilometer per hour zone and you are going at 100 miles per hour. You could be drunk, you could be knowledgeable, you could be willfully doing it, you could be doing it for whatever reason. But you are saying that when the cop catches you, I didn't see that board, like I didn't see that signpost. Now, is that a valid excuse? Okay. You are on the top of a skyscraper, 30-story building, 50-story building, whatever. You go to the edge and you tell, I don't believe Newton's laws, I don't believe gravity, I don't accept anything called as gravity, all these guys are telling lies. Now you trip yourself. And then you come, as you are coming down, before you go up, pause for a second if you can and ask the question, did ignorance give you the answer? On top of that, we have this stupid English idiom which says ignorance is bliss. There is never a reason where ignorance can be bliss. Ignorance is tamas. That is our Sanatana Dharma way of thinking. Whereas these people try to make bliss out of it. So look at the level of knowledge gap between the Rishi's way of thinking and the Western intellectual way of thinking. So ignorance is not a problem. We had someone like Ratnakar, who was a hunter, who became a Valmiki Maharishi. We had a Siddhartha seeing one dead body, one sick person, one poor person transform into Buddha. We have one questioning Narendra when he came in contact with with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, became Vivekananda. We see one ignorant but yet hungry Balakrishna Menon, who went to expose the issues happening in Swami Sivananda's ashram. All the issues were only in his head. They were not in real. So he went there to create some problem there. But only that casual contact with him transformed him into a Swami Chinmayananda. He ended up taking Diksha right there, living there for years together before he went on to Tapovan Maharaj. for next level of insights. So, what is the most important thing you see here? What is that Valmiki had? What is that Swami Chinmayananda had? Narendra had? They had an open mind and they were all genuine seekers. So, if you and I are genuine seekers, this excuse will fall by the wayside. That I don't know, nobody taught me, that sort of thing. Why? 100 years ago, you could have told that, man, I don't have any resources. All the Brahmins are storing all the knowledge, they are not distributing anything. You could have come with some lame excuse like that. Today, it's not true. You go to Google, you can get Valmiki Ramayana. There are multiple sites. You go to Google, you go say IIT super site, there is Gita super site that is put together by IIT. So, you get all the acharyas, commentaries, translations in one site. What more is the excuse that I don't have access? So, we have just demolished that excuse, and if we still continue to hold this excuse, we are the worst dumb tamasic person. Now, today, the tone is not aimed at the main listener here. So, it is not an insinuation telling that you and I are having those excuses, but we see these excuses all around. And sometimes we don't know what is the correct antidote. So, it is just a humble attempt to bridge that gap. Hey, what should I tell? Maybe it is our own children that is asking. Maybe it is our co-worker that is asking, coming with that kind of excuse. So, we are just putting all these excuses in one place so that we can talk and think through the process. Understand, this, like Kicha was saying in the introduction, this was supposed to have been part of that early introductory series, a dharmic way of goal setting. This is like a continuation of that thought process. So, if you want, you can go back to that and you can listen to that. That is also available in Sanatanam Arivom. It is also part of our collection of information that is already recorded. The next excuse the guys come up with, it's all written in Sanskrit. It's so technical. Have you even cracked open the book? It's so technical. It is so technical that even different acharyas are writing different meanings for it. I can't apply it in my life. I have no idea. One book, Gita, how many commentaries are there? All different. Now, I am not even talking about just Gita. You have so many different pathways like bhakti, jnana, karma, yoga. And then on top of that, you got different darshanas. Oh man, it's so complicated. Just see how one small word, you take dharma or karma, how many complicated meanings are there even in the vernacular vocabulary. So, it is way too technical, way too complicated. I have no knowledge of Sanskrit. Maybe I know Devanagari, maybe I don't. I have no idea. Now, here is what we need to understand, what is the dharmic prescription for it. And let's look at some of the people who are not even having the least vasanas. People like Sheldon Pollock. One thing you cannot accuse that man is not knowing Sanskrit. You can definitely accuse the man of being very shady, abusing Sanatana Dharma, talking bad about Saraswati, and so many other things. How did that guy get that knowledge? Even the earlier centuries, there were people like Caldwell, there were people like Max Muller. How did they get that? It is just a matter of time. They don't even have a linguistic connection. You and I have at least a linguistic connection. Even if you know only some Indian language, that majority of the words are that. The problem is immediately when we come to this kind of crossroads, immediately this kind of Hindu will ask the question, hey, tell me everything what you know about Vimana Shastra. Were they ancient aliens? I saw this ancient alien channel. They also spoke about Mahabharata weapons. I need to know everything about it. As if you know everything about it will help you becoming a spiritual person or a dharmic person. This kind of shallowness of trying to use some sort of semi-technicality is the worst excuse. When we have people like Sheldon Pollack, who has no connection, yet we have the Dravidian parties who are just spreading lies and fomenting division by not allowing the populace to study Hindi because their politics will get exposed for the last 70 years. Imagine that. Who is profiting from all this? So in today's day and age, we have Sanskrit Bharati. So I not knowing English, Samskrita is just not a problem. And on top of that, you go to every language, there have been Sants and Mahatmas. You say, I know only Hindi? Great. What more you need more than Tulsi or Kabir? What more you need? What wisdom is left out in that you need to look outside? You say, no, I am from Tamil Nadu. You know what? Tamil language is so different from, okay. Go read all the ancient Tamil texts. The same information is given there in every Indian language. So this is the worst excuse we can come up with. Of all the excuses, this is the most ridiculous. That I don't know the language. For people like you and me who are kind of Anglophiles, at least for the clubhouse context, there is Swami Chinmayananda. His 30-35 years that were dedicated, every day was dedicated to expressing Bhagavad Gita, taking it easily bridgeable to the common man, modern man, whose way of thinking is so different from what was 100 years ago, 1000 years ago, was only in English. He did so much English pravachan that he even got a title, Angla Bhasha Viduttama, that he only speaks in English. The expert in... So the point here is, what else is the excuse? You don't have to know the language for understanding the technicality, because many of the great rishis have been, great Mahatmas have been kind enough to give translations, proper commentaries. You say, no, I still don't want to know that. You still have local vernacular languages to explain that. You say it is still technical. There are so many people doing pravachans, giving you explanations and things like that, all available free. So what else is the excuse? Now comes a big one. You don't understand. I am very busy. I don't have time. This is really funny sometimes. I see people on Clubhouse and Twitter waking through the night, through the dawn, through the morning, and then you ask that guy, hey, why don't you take 5 minutes to do some sadhana? Oh, I got no time. What were you doing? I was talking in political space, I was talking in this space, that space. Very important. As if like people's point is very important. This opinion is very important. Now, if you are not even that kind of person, you say, no, I'm not even walking. I just come here randomly. I have only limited time. I am very busy with my projects. I'm doing this, that. If your boss says you have to put overtime for free, you are doing that to keep your job. But for understanding Dharma and not even put overtime, put half an hour every day or 1 hour every weekend, it is a question of, oh no, I am very busy. So sometimes we have to look at the question. In those days when people were living their lives, even 50, 100 years ago, you just wanted idli. Man, it is a manual process. They have to keep the dough, so soak that, make that dough through hand. You want chutney, they have to make it through hand. Put it in the mortar and pestle and they have to do that. Hard labor. Today you want idli, you don't even ask your home. You just go and order, it comes, Swiggy comes. You are still living a lifestyle of luxury, yet have the audacity to tell that, no, I am very busy. So it comes down to priorities in life. What is the priority we are having? That matters a lot. So we need to take time to pause and ask ourselves serious question. How is my life? What is my direction? Why can't I take little time to strengthen my roots? Instead of just saying I want more fruits, focus on the roots. That's how a plant is. A plant is productive not by just the fruits. A plant is productive by strong roots. Then we come with all these ideas, like, hey, you know what? You ask the guy, hey, do yoga, do Ekadasi fasting, do something like that. Guy says, no, you don't understand. I don't have time for all this. You go to all these health forums, you go to the doctors in the Western community. Now they have been stealing all our ideas. Literally. They stole now, latest stealing is pranayama. They have given a new name. Before that they stole yoga nidra. They gave the name lucid dreaming. Before that they had stolen this, what we call as Topukaranam. What we do with Ganesha, we cross our hands, hold our ears and we do kind of like a sit-ups. That they stole. They gave a new name to that. They found that it is very stimulating to the brain. The problem is when the Westerners, if you want to know about yoga, who are practicing yoga? Do you have one Indian yoga manual? No. We don't even follow it. And that is why they don't have any respect for it. They can butcher it because it's only information they are taking it and they can twist it and manipulate it. It is not a living, breathing thing. When you break it part of your life, they will respect it. Now, to heck with all the great ideals of yoga or Ekadasi. Just start it for health reasons. Then eventually you will find the spiritual side of it. So the point here is, you and I need to get rolling, start where you are and make progress from where you are. The idea is just start. Don't be a sitting duck. Then comes our grand intellectual argument. The whole world is Maya. Don't you know this? This is an offshoot of Adi Shankara's theory. Many of the modern Swamijis and many of the traditional people have misunderstood and hijacked it. This basically, even if you go to clubhouse, some of the rooms, there are people who talk at length, ad nauseum on philosophical ideas. I have heard them repeatedly, very coherently tell, don't worry about the world, let them go to dogs. Where did you get that knowledge? You took it from the same Sanatana Dharma, whether it is in this Janma or all the old Janmas, you have only gotten it. But now you have gone to PhD level, now you are saying no, that is not required for no LKG is allowed. Burn all kindergarten. Who the hell are you to tell that? But you see, even today, that is the slant that even R.K. Mutt is taking today. For instance, R.K. Mutt is telling, oh, that is why Jesus is same as this thing. Jesus talk, and if Jesus was real, assuming that, would be theoretically same if you accept the fact that ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. That means they have to accept that all paths are same. Will any true Christian accept that? No. But ad nauseum, these monks are coming and telling, I am Sarva Priyananda, because just in the name only Sarva Priya. If you really have that Priya, you should be protecting the Dharma from where you took it. You don't disrespect it and use it only for marketing your own people and making them dumber by making them more secular. We are falling again and again for this trap, and that is why when you have people like Wendy Doniger or Sheldon Pollack or Devdutt Patnaik abusing Sanatana Dharma, these legends of Sanatana Dharma come to the rescue and bat for these malevolent characters and say, hey, world is Maya. All these bad characters you are seeing is bad dream. Everything is in Brahman. To heck with it. You keep that nightmare in your life, not in mine. But what we do is, because we are also brainwashed in a secular way, we think whatever that fellow is saying is right. It is our duty to defend and protect Dharma. For that we need to understand Dharma, we need to follow Dharma. But when following these kind of high ideals, Mayavada problem, they take it in a different way and they make it sound as if like you don't have to do anything. Now you take that in another end of the spectrum, there is the other thing. God knows everything. He will do what is right. Who am I to do anything? Poor me. I am only a jiva. So there is also this thing. I am not again putting down any sampradaya, don't take me wrong. I am for all sampradayas, but some people taking some sampradaya with a twist by saying, I have already done Saranagati. That means that even for defending Dharma, it is Bhagavan's role. Okay? The same people who are talking Saranagati, their acharyas went through the length and breadth of the country defending their parampara. They should not have done that. They should have been seated in one place instead of writing books and commentaries. They should have said, okay, I have already done Sarangati, everything should be done. So you are not looking at the life of your own Acharya, but you are looking at a very shallow excuse why not to do anything. All these guys are literally sitting in an easy chair practicing the art of dying. That's all they are interested in. In my mind, that is nothing more than tamas. So what is the prescription for that? Don't focus on what the interpretations of these modern gurus are giving. Go to the Shastras and understand what the Shastras are telling. And you take it for yourself. Many of these new age gurus are not even connected with Shastras. There is a Dadiwala who says he built a temple with an image of Shiva and he says Shiva is not Hindu. Why? He is busy doing regular archana with Christian hymns in the image of Shiva he had built. He says yoga is not Hindu. What kind of BS is this? So don't follow new age gurus. Follow those gurus that are connecting you with Shastras. If no such guru is available for your parampara or your thought process, go straight to the Shastras. Don't cut corners on this. When people are talking Mayavada, imagine this. Ramana Maharishi was asked to go for surgery in Chennai. He was in Thiruvannamalai. He said, sorry, I am going to be only in Thiruvannamalai. So the doctor came from there. He said, I don't have anesthesia set up. He said, I don't need anesthesia. Just like you and I watch Discovery Channel, he was watching his own surgery without any anesthesia. Now, if he talks about Mayavada, he is qualified. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had throat cancer. Now, he could have used that excuse when Bhaktas told, please go and get some solution. You can ask, pray to Ma Kali. He said, this world is Maya. Everything is Kali. If she thinks I should get the cure, she will give it. Why should I ask? My mother knows what to give and what not to give. Now, that is the highest level of understanding. Now, ask these Mayavadi people, or these people who do Saranagata and whatever, hey, you have done all these things, right? Now, why don't you stop taking medicine if you are ill? Why don't you stop eating? Because you are completely given, the whole world is Maya, right? The food is Maya, you going to the toilet is Maya, everything is Maya. Why are you doing that? Oh, that is my way of living. So there is a disconnect between what is Vyavaharika and Paramarthika. So what is happening is, when we look at one end of the spectrum, Bhagavan is looking at the world, there is no division in his eyes. There is no other thing other than Bhagavan. That is Paramarthika way of thinking. From that point, the world looks like a mirror image, like a not even image, it looks like a mirage. But from our world point of view, the Vyavaharika point of view, the common man's daily point of view, the sky is still blue. Morning, sky is blue. Night time becomes black. So some color change is happening. We are still seeing that. So what happens? You understand that the sky, if you are really intelligent enough to understand that the blueness of the sky is an illusion, but for our daily life we will have to understand that morning it is blue, night time it is black. That subtlety we need to understand because we are living in the world. So, as long as you are living in the world and seeing the blueness of the sky, you are going to understand that you have to defend Dharma. You can't say like Bhagavan will defend. You and I have to do that. So, doing surrender to Bhagavan is one thing. But if you respect that I have surrendered to Bhagavan, this world is a creation of Bhagavan and he has laid this Dharma to protect this. Bhagavan exists in the world as Dharma. Now you are not even defending Dharma. You say I am a child of Bhagavan, I am a servant of the Lord, then you are not even defending. Now when I say defending Dharma doesn't mean you start crusades. That is the desert religion's way of thinking. I am not talking or inciting violence here. Please understand that. What we are talking here is you follow Dharma, you understand Dharma, you amplify Dharma through your example. And in that process you will evolve and transform from being that caterpillar to that butterfly. For that, you need to go to the cocoon stage. You need to cut off the outside world and feed only the inner connection. That inner connection that is connected with the great Atmic inner connection. And that is crucial. Since we are not connected inside, we are just going around like this caterpillar forever. We are not having that transformation to become that butterfly because we are not ready to go through that cocoon stage. We need to cut off all this unwanted, I'm saying unwanted social media. Focus our attention on deepening our life and connection with Dharma. Now, doesn't mean that you become like 24/7 bhakta, that sort of thing. I'm talking about when there is a problem for Dharma, where are you and me? So, it is it is very important that we must focus on the right priorities. And why we are not able to do leads us to the next excuse we give. We look at the world through not the Paramarthika or the Vyavarika lens. We look at the world through the lens of selfishness, through the lens of ego, ahamkara. Look, Sachidanandam, I am happy. I have a busy life. I go to work. I'm married to a beautiful spouse. We got all the money we need. We got the children. I'm living my own life. Now, why are you bothering me and saying like defend Dharma and all these things? Didn't Rama himself could not come and solve what Krishna himself could not come and solve? What am I going to do? I'm just happy with where I am. And you don't understand this is a dog eat dog world. So I am just focused on making a living. Now you are dragging and putting me all sorts of unwanted issues. Now this is nothing but crass tamas. This kind of mindset only tells that I will take everything from the society and civilization, but I will not contribute anything back. All I can think is today you are standing having light where you are having because Edison did all the experiments. You may not even be using incandescent light. You may be using an LED lamp. But somebody did the research using the incandescent lamp that went through a evolution and transformation that has come to this stage today. The light what you used 100 years ago is not the same as what is today. It is neither in the intensity, nor in the mechanism, nor in the lumens or whatever. But we have to be thankful of the giants of the past on whose shoulders we are standing. Because humanity is interdependent. Our entire existence, not only humanity, all living beings are interconnected. So we have to drop this fake idea of dependence and independence and realize that everything is interdependent. The reason why we cannot make that switch is because we are caught in this circle of I, me, myself. Imagine Ramanujacharya, one of the greatest stalwarts. It took him several years. He would walk miles and miles and miles to go knock on his guru Thirukoshtiur Nambi at his door and say, please teach me the secret, the ultimate secret. He said, no, you are not yet qualified. Come back when you are. Now he would go, evolve, and he will come back with more answers and he will say, okay, another year. Rain or shine, not coming in this is like 1,000 years ago. He's not coming in a nice Tonga or anything like that by walk. Miles and miles and miles. Please teach me. After so many trips, 18 trips or something like that, he gives the information. The ultimate truth in the universe is Om Namo Narayanaya. And you cannot tell this to anyone without proper testing. Don't give it carelessly. And I am warning you. You need to test them just like I tested you, and probably even more. The minute he got the information, he climbed the gopuram of nearby temple. And he said, everybody come here. Oh masses, the ultimate secret in this universe is Om Namo Narayanaya. There is nothing that is more sanctifying than this. Now, having listened to this, you all will go straight to Vaikunta. That means you will not even come back. But I have violated my Guru's Vakya, so I may end up in Naraka. That's fine. So that is called Dharma. When Jatayu was warned by Sita, go and fetch Rama, don't worry about me. Jatayu stood the ground and said, no, I will convey the message somehow. Rama will give me the strength, but I will delay this Mahapapi's time with all my might. Ravana lost all the weapons he got. Ravana lost his charioteer, the horses that were driving, everything he lost. The only thing that saved him was Shiva's boon, that he had this sword called Chandrahasa that came to him when he needed it. Using that, he chopped up Jatayu into pieces. But what was Jatayu doing? Defending Dharma. So whenever you and I need to look at Dharma, look at that. Did Jatayu fail in the mission of communicating to Rama? No. But did he do whatever it took to defend Dharma, protect Dharma? That was what Ramanujacharya also did. So we can't be so selfish in saying that I am fine, my family is fine, I don't care about others. Think about like this. Today you have small children, tomorrow your children will grow up, and when you are finding them matches for a boy or a girl, how many boys and girls are here who are finding it difficult to find the right wavelength, a dharmic wavelength for a spouse? Come to Clubhouse, you will find them. Just change this title and tell them singles trying to find a dharmic spouse. You will, in a half an hour, you will have 1,000 people. So, the point here is, we have to get out of this egoistic stance and we need to look at it. Then comes our next excuse. Now we bring all our Shastra understanding and we say, hey, don't you understand? All these are normal in Kali Yuga. Right. Where did you learn that? No, I was told that. Where did you understand that? No, that's what was told in Mahabharata or Bhagavatam, one of that place, you know. They won't even know where it is, but they will tell you everything as if you know. And then they will tell like, Kalki Avatar will come and fix all these things. So, the issue we have with this kind of excuses, or they always say, Bhagavan will, Bhagavan has told, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashacha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaye sambhavami yuge yuge. So, every yuga he will come and protect me. Why should I do? Now, to this kind of logical, kind of illogical, I am telling that with sarcasm, this kind of pseudo-logic answer, we need to understand, by the time Bhagavan comes, there should be some dharma left for him to protect, right? You dummy, you need to protect that dharma. For protecting that dharma, Bhagavan will come. You don't protect any dharma, then what dharma is left for Bhagavan to come and protect? So what we are not understanding again and again is, we give all these tall excuses. Hey, look, even in Draupadi Vastrarana, that's a very touchy subject. I have not dared to blog it or write it yet. It's a very emotional topic there. But Draupadi Vastrarana, she pleaded all the elders there. She looked at all her husbands who were having hung heads. She looked at and prayed to everyone. She tried to defend herself. And then she finally surrendered to Bhagavan Narayana, and that Nama protected her. That Bhagavan Nama protected her. Now, we immediately become ourselves like on par with Draupadi. We say, hey, look, that's called Saranagati. Gajendra Moksha, see, that's called Gajendra Moksha. Now, when it comes to your life problem, immediately you go, like, Bhagavan, why did you give me all this problem, all that thing? It's all your karma phala, buddy. No, you should come and protect me only for all the good things you should give me, not bad karma phala. Then you are good, Bhagavan. Otherwise, I will substitute you. I will replace you with that God from the desert that will forgive all sins. See, you are not forgiving me. That's our mindset nowadays. Now, I am not accusing anyone or insinuating anyone. Please don't take it. I am just talking the language of the seculars. Then comes even more ridiculous. These are guys who have absolutely no idea. This is more like the communistic Dravidian kind of mindset. Very, very vicious. They want to put entire Sanatana Dharma in a casteist outlook. They don't even want to tell you when the caste originated, where the caste originated. Casta was an idea which the Spaniards and the Portuguese followed for segregating the society, how the native people were lowest, native people and Spaniards mixed children were next, and the Spaniards were the top, purebreds. So they invented this idea of caste. So you have to understand, the Portuguese came later to India after this discovery only. So they brought the idea of casta. And they introduced our idea, hey, do you have anything to map? Oh, you have. Oh, Jati, Varna and all. Okay, they are all caste. This caste is a Western idea which we have absorbed into Sanatana Dharma, which doesn't have any legs in Sanatana Dharma, none whatsoever. Yes, we do have Jati, we do have Varna, but you cannot map them to the stupid idea of caste. And when Lord Risley brought all that ideas and codified them in the census, we fell for it. And what is worse, post-independence, the Nehruvian politics that focused only on the minority appeasement and the vote bank politics, and all the regional parties that are molded in that, they are continuing this legacy. And that is the only reason we have caste in this country. There is no idea of caste in Sanatana Dharma. There is no idea of differentiation. The differentiation that occurs in the Varnashrama is an evolutionary process of your guna and karma. Nothing more, nothing less. It is not to represent and translate that person's position in the society. It is just to highlight that person's evolutionary path. One is not superior over the other. And if a person is a Brahmana, he has to be a Sarva Bhuta Hita. That means he has to not only look at everybody same, he has to look at every living being the same. Otherwise, he is not even called as a Brahmana. So, where do we even go? And where are these definitions? These are found in the same books that these guys are twisting and misappropriating and mistranslating. So, what is this puerile reductionistic exercise or excuse? because we are looking at this stupid way of looking at the prism of casteism through the Western lens, we have absorbed it. And not only that, we are anachronistically applying it all the way back to 5,000-6,000 years back. And now people are telling, you know what? They don't even call who is Shudra nowadays. Do you know that? They tell you who is a Kshatriya and who is a Vaishya and who is a Brahmana. Nobody calls why. They call everybody as Dalits. There is no word called Dalit in Sanatana Dharma. There is no word Harijan. That was again one of the ideas peddled by the famous merchant we unfortunately accepted from Gujarat for misinterpreting Sanatana Dharma. So, where are we? We're coming with excuses. On the list of excuses, now we come to the next one. Hey, I am a cultural Hindu. What does that mean? You come to Tamil Nadu. Why it's called Dumil is, for people who are not from Tamil Nadu, the Dumil is the sound made by that revolver sound, right? Like, that's how we put that in Tamil. So, it's kind of like a representative of this the mindset of these kind of Sikh Dravidian people. So, it is a word referred to them, and they also distort Tamil at every place. So, they have been aptly called Dumils. Now, I am a cultural Hindu. What does that mean? Now they are trying to sell this cultural Hindu as Samatva Pongal. Like, okay, this is like secular Pongal. What is secular Pongal? Secular Sankranti? This is another way to name us and shame us. You go and tell the mullah some name, the whole society will stand up. But you can continuously split the Sanatana Dharma into pieces. You can go and tell the Lingaites, hey, you want a new religion, we will give you new status. That's what your this Nehruvian sold out party. Remember, I am not against all these people. I had all tremendous respect. I even went to, as a child, my dad was kind enough to take me, tour me, Anand Bhavan, all these things. I was in veneration. I have even met as a child, Indira Gandhi. Even wished her that she should be the next Prime Minister, unfortunately, and I didn't know anything about her. I was just coached. So, why am I saying that? Being this cultural Hindu is the easiest target for the Abrahamic conversion program. The more people I make them convert secular Hindu, cultural Hindu, the easier is my target. So that is why they are desperately trying to make you as cultural Hindu. Unnecessarily, characters like Virat Kohli will come because his wife is an idiot. She is this Bollywood, like secular. I don't know if it is anything else more. Now he is coming and giving you lectures. This is how you should all celebrate Diwali. Where the hell he goes every new year? If you are such an excellent guy, then get off alcohol. So the thing is, we have to understand this cultural Hindu nonsense. They bring all sorts of opportunities to fracture our fissure points. What they do is they come in Tamil Nadu, they created this new controversy. Deliberately, they told Subramanya is not the same as Kanda. Have you ever imagined this? Then they told Ganesha is North Indian, Skanda is South Indian. Can you figure this kind of thing? Rama is North Indian, but Ravana is a South Indian god. Where did you find that? Oh, you have any book? No, we don't have any book, but we have our own interpretations we can voluntarily offer. This is how they culturally convert us. Once they reduce you to the level of cultural Hindu, you are just a gone case. You don't have any roots. I can just blow you like dirt. Then comes the next type of excuse. These guys are like very intellectual. You will come to clubhouse. Trust me, in clubhouse only there are like half a dozen groups like this. I am very spiritual, not ritual. You know, it's the exact opposite. This is another. You can say like this is not the Mayavada extension. These are people who say like they see the world through a very, very distorted prism. Just because you came to PhD level, will you be idiotic and arrogant enough to say that all primary schools, nursery schools should be shut down? Only PhD is where knowledge is. In Sanatana Dharma, everybody is having their own level. Now, you also have to understand, just because I am in the kindergarten today, Sanatana Dharma doesn't leave me in a low level, because there are portals where the person who is in that lowest level also can go to the highest level. That is why we have a Ratnakar transform into Valmiki. That is why you have a hunter who is just using his spit to do Abhisheka, and a Linka who is evolving to the highest level. So, the person being in a particular level doesn't mean that they are going to be that level. You have to understand this is a circle, or rather sphere, and every point is interconnected to another. You can go from one level to another level anytime. Just because you are today talking very high spirituality, tomorrow you can fall down to the gutter, because of this is called fall in yoga. Bhagavan Krishna talks about it very early in Gita. He says what is the worst form? He says the worst form is the fall in yoga is the most painful. That means you think you are very spiritual, you are very knowledgeable, and tomorrow you are lower than the lowest because of your ahamkara. And these people, what they do is they act like poison conduits. They go and brainwash the masses that, hey, you don't need these rituals. Why do you need to do Abhishekam for Bhagavan? Why do you need to give mundanam? Why do you need to cut your hair? All these rituals are useless. They are useless to you, buddy. Not to the one who has got a heart that is ripe for transformation. So, what these people do is they don't defend Sanatana Dharma, and they also discourage other people to not do that defense by trying to say this is only one category people should do. Then you ask that same person why you are not defending, now that you know all spiritual, right? Why don't you defend Sanatana Dharma? Then they will immediately hide under Mayavada. They will say like, hey, you know what? Bhagavan will take care. This whole world is Maya, or some such excuse. Excuse is all we have been specializing in, and that's what we are going to get rid of. We are going to get rid of this excuseitis, which has been the bane of Sanatana Dharma, which has been the bane of modern Hinduism. I am not talking about what was 100 years ago, 1000 years ago. What is today? We have all been walking, talking encyclopedia of all sorts of excuses, and we are going to cure them. Then comes the next excuse. This is very interesting. I am too old. I am too young. You know, I am only in my 20s, and you are wanting me to do all these things. And my family has no contribution about Sanatana Dharma now for last several generations. I know. I have no idea about all these things. And on top of that, I have no support. All this stem from the same fact that we are only a selfish person, self-absorbed, coming with one excuse or the other. At what age was Nachiketas? Age 7, he was able to ask the deep questions. Tirunjana Sambandar was a small child, was a small infant. toddler. Dhruva was only 4. Prahlada was only 5. How many donkey years we are? Then we use the next trump card. I am too old. You can't teach this old dog new tricks. Yeah. Then look at Ajamila, who was 80 or 90, was in his deathbed. He overheard the conversation between the Yamakinkaras and Vishnudutas. Used that as a satsanga, as the opportunity to transform. What is our excuse? Prahlada's father was the one who was spreading all the atrocities. His teachers were telling, say, Om Hiranyakashipu. But he is steadfastly saying Om Namo Narayana. What kind of support you want? Are you in that kind of situation? Very soon you will be. The way the number of temples are being destroyed in Tamil Nadu, you may end up like that. If you say Om Namo Narayana, it will be, or Jai Shri Ram, you may be charged. Before that situation comes, wake up. Do something. Then we come with our next interesting trump card. This one tops the other. We say, we definitely come with this one. We say like, how I alone can make any difference. I know today we are going a bit farther than anticipated, than normal, because we have a long list of excuses. And I am not going to use that excuse to cut short this focus we are having, this intense focus we are having. I am really thankful that we are all traveling in this journey. We say like, look, this is the land of Rama and Krishna. They didn't make any difference. This is the place where Ramana Maharishi was there, Swami Sivananda was there, Vivekananda was there. They didn't seem to have made any difference. Right? But what we don't understand is it took one Vivekananda to shake the entire West. The entire West started understanding Sanatana Dharma only after Vivekananda went. After that many of them went. Many half-baked went. Many of them went and embraced Christianity also, like many of the RK monks today. Even today they base camp here. And every Upanishad talk, they talk about Sermon of Mount. And who are they talking? Only to Hindus. Why do they need to bring Sermon of the Mount there? Oh, it is mandatory and obligatory. Every Hindu should know about what happens in the Bible. All paths are same. Some BS. But without digressing, the point is, can one person make the difference? Yes. It is how deep you and I are connected with the Dharma. How many people took to establish Satya as the highest? One Harichandra is enough. One Bhishma is enough to highlight Brahmacharya. One Rama is enough to highlight Ekapatni Vrata. So, one person with commitment to Dharma can transform and evolve and be that light that others can follow. Are we still going to be giving the same excuse? Oh, then we come to the next one. It's even more interesting. We say, hey, you don't understand. The real world, you guys are not talking. See, real world is all about Artha and Kama. What are you talking about, Dharma and Moksha? I don't even understand that. And that is the problem we all have. If you are a father, if you are a son, if you are a husband, for example, or if it is a lady, you take it like you are a mother, you are a daughter, you are a wife, and you are also employed in a job. Now, will you go and tell your boss, I can't do this work because I am a father? Or will you come and tell your child, look son, I am working as an employee. I cannot be a good father or mother. What kind of ridiculousness is that? You have different personalities, different times, different roles. Same way, our mind can look at only small two prisms using kama and artha. A rubber band is meant to be stretched. If you don't stretch a rubber band, what is the use of it? Artha and kama don't stretch your mind. It's dharma alone that will stretch your rubber band of mind. So when you expand your mind, what is going to happen? You are going to think beyond emotional, material and low level needs and start looking at systemic thought processes. How these interdependencies happen from a dharma point of view. As your mind keeps expanding and expanding, it becomes from global to universal and encompasses everything in it. So, we must understand that without understanding dharma as a key component of our human dimension, we will be far too incomplete. Let's say in a 100-mark question paper, you answer only 2 questions and they are the easiest ones. You get 1 mark, 1 mark. 2 marks you got, 100% you got. Artha and kama. 98% marks is only for dharma. Now you skip the paper. Now you want pass mark. How is that possible? Now when you get dharma, you are not going to understand everything also. The thing is that you have to take that dharma, go deep in it, and then take that dharma as the starting point for creating the artha, and then take that artha and don't consume it for only kama. Take a significant portion of that artha and resources and put it back into strengthening that dharma. That is when you get the real kama's pleasure. And that is very subtle. So we don't even know what we are missing. Then we come to the next question. Hey, life is a battle. This is very big Kurukshetra. You are talking all hi-fi things. I don't even understand. I can't even understand all these problems. We talk about Satyam, Ahimsa. You know what happened to Harichandra? What kind of problems he went? You want me to follow that? You said Bhishma. Imagine if Bhishma had married and had children, this entire Mahabharata would not have happened. So this Bhishma is a useless guy. So we come to that kind of stupid conclusions. And we also think like, hey, dharma is separate, artha is separate, kama is separate, moksha is separate. There are 4 simultaneous dimensions of the same entity. That's what Sanatana Dharma teaches. But in the beginning, we all see them as 4 different things. And we say that, no, I pick favorites, I want this over that. But once you start understanding dharma, and in that dharma you find the artha, and in that artha you find the kama, and you keep this package so tight, and you flip the other side, it becomes moksha. So we come to this kind of conclusion that, hey, you know what, this is all very complicated, what you are telling is all fine, but I have this vasana baggage, all these things that are so internal and external. This internal battle itself is so big, difficult. This outside battle, look at all the breaking India forces ready to devour India. Be it the communists, the atheists, the Dravidians, be it the desert cult flavors. They are all ready to devour us. I don't know if I can fight the outside battle or the inside battle. Exactly. That is exactly the point. So who has to be the bulwark between these two? You and me. And how can you take on these external forces if you don't have the interconnection. On the 18th day, after Duryodhana is defeated, his thigh is broken and his life is still hanging loose, is dying a painful slow death. Krishna says, you would have never defeated Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Duryodhana but for all the things I did to protect you. And I did that only because you guys want to follow Dharma at all costs. So the outside problems are like Duryodhana's. They are far too powerful. Look, even if you are looking numerically, 11 Akshaunis versus 7 Akshaunis, even that number is enough to make the difference. And you look at qualitative difference, who is equal to Bhishma? Not even Parasurama. Parasurama himself gets defeated after 23 days in an earlier battle with Bhishma. The minute they go to the Duryodhana's camp and declare that this officially we have taken control of this camp, signifying the victory, Krishna asks Arjuna to alight from that chariot. He lets loose the horses. And then Krishna steps down. The minute they step down, the entire chariot combusts spontaneously. And they are all in awe. What is happening? He said, all these things already happened. It's only happening now because of my grace. The Brahmastra of Drona and Karna are working now. I only delayed the timing so that you can be protected. So, what is the point we are talking? We all need that inner connection, that Atma Bala. And how do we demonstrate that? Only by developing a backbone to follow Dharma. Only by following Dharma, we develop that backbone and signal Bhagavan, hey, I am on your side. And it is not by verbal declaration, but by doing like what Jatayu did. Jatayu's first words to Ravana was, you are far too superior than me, but I will use all my might to stop you from doing this injustice. First he tried to stop him verbally by giving him advice. When it failed, he resorted to what he need to. So, Sanatana Dharma, following it, what is your excuse and mine? We have pretty much taken a head-on collision and gotten rid of most of the excuses. But here are some small prescriptions we can do. Start reading scriptures that appeal to your vasanas on a periodic basis. It may be Itihasas, Puranas. It may be Bhagavata. It may be Bhagavad Gita. It may be some Upanishads. Or it may be some other regional Sant Mahatmas like Kabir or Tulsi, who can start as a, or if it is in the south, there are so many of them. Depending on what you are close, you can start there. Start with your Ishta Devata. Doesn't matter. Hari and Hara are same. The difference is only in our problem, in our eye. Satsanga is very crucial. You may have Tesla, you may have iPhone, but if you don't keep them charged, will they be of any use? So depending on our own Vasana baggage, the weightage that is applying and pulling on our back may be more. But we can easily overcome that by satsanga. Satsanga is mandatory for our evolution. Now, you don't have to be the master in all. Hey, you know what? I have to read Vedas, I have to do this, I have to do that. No, no, no. Just take only one. You take, let's say, like you are a very story guy, one story, simple story. I don't need Mahabharata with thousands of stories or Bhagavatam with so many side stories. I want only Ramayana. Okay. One simple story. Started Ayodhya, came back to Ayodhya. That's all. One person. Okay. That is enough. So, whatever you know, you have to apply. And whatever you apply, live that in your real life. And then you will see the transformation. Try to do some Nishkamya Seva. Only by developing a Seva Bhava, we can put all these excuses to rest. Understand that. Only by Seva, and that too Nishkamya Seva, our karmas will get dented and we will be focused on this evolutionary path. Share whatever little you know in the dharmic path with your community, with your family. So be that person who spreads that light. There are so many agencies of darkness. Why can't you and I be that agency of light? Don't compromise and cut corners of dharma for an easy lifestyle. Wherever possible, try to uphold the standards. Don't compromise. When intellectual bullies talk about high philosophy or low, crass, materialistic life, stay grounded on dharma. Fight for it. Make your voice heard when there is adharma happening. Like this girl was killed in the name of conversion in Tamil Nadu. Make your voice heard. So, if you don't stand for dharma, you are automatically standing for adharma. There is no neutral. It's very clear, plain and black and white. Why did Vali get hit from the dark side when he was not even fighting with Rama? That's one of the subtleties. Because he silently aided the kidnapping of Sita by Ravana. He didn't do it directly. So the karma phala also came indirectly. So don't be in the process of creating that kind of karma phala for yourself. Stand grounded in dharma. May that Sanatana Dharma grow and prosper in all our lives, through our lives, and reach the world. With that, let's conclude by remembering Rama's name. Jai Shri Ram.